thunder of jets in an open sky, a streak of gray, and a cheerful...
A loop, a whirl, and a vertical climb, and once again you'll know it's time for the adventures of Rocky and Bullwinkle and friends.
Starring that supersonic speedster, Rocket J. Squirrel, with his pal Bullwinkle the Moose, and a host of others.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
Wave to the people!
Yay!
Now what are you doing?
Signing autographs. Let's see. John Smith.
But your name is Bullwinkle!
I know, but that's hard to spell.
We're gonna have a lot of fun! Come on and join us!
Sure, there's always room for one more.
Well, the Bumbling Brothers Circus has a new attraction, thanks to the magical powers of Bullwinkle's fabulous hummer-comb. For with the music of his tissue paper comb, he has become the world's most famous wild animal tamer.
Come and see him!
Bullwinkle Moose!
And his toe-tapping tigers!
Okay, fellers. And a 1, and a 2, and...
Yes, to the tune of Bullwinkle's hummer-comb, the animals did things never before seen in any circus ring. What's more, they seemed to love their trainer. At the end of each performance, they carried him off on their shoulders.
Boy, Bullwinkle, you're sensational!
Okay, fellers, break it up. Oh!
Of course, all the customers loved the act.
Yay!
All except two.
Boo!
And they weren't exactly customers. They had sneaked in under the tent wall.
Snitch!
Come on, Natasha, we consult Fireside Book of Fiendish Plans.
Boris, we can walk out with everybody else.
Please, Natasha, I'm a professional sneak.
So?
I sneaked in, I sneak out.
Of course, the two circus owners, Hugo and Igo Bumbling, were delighted with the new act.
Boys, the circus is simply rolling in that green stuff.
And you know what green stuff we mean?
Spinach?
Chlorophyll?
Money!
Oh, that!
But unfortunately, their relation was short-lived, for as the circus swung south into Nevada and Arizona, they ran into...
Rain!
Rain?
In Arizona?
In Nevada?
In August?
Impossible!
Yes, for day after day, the circus wagon splashed through the mud, or tried to.
Boy, this wagon is really stuck.
Hey, how do we get out of this mud?
Mud? What's mud?
You kidding? It's what you get when you mix earth and rain.
What's rain?
This is rain.
I thought it was a mirage. But it never rains in Arizona in August.
There is less rain in August than any other month.
Well, how much is there in the other months?
None.
That ought to make August pretty dry, all right.
Of course, there's nothing that's less fun than a soggy circus, so the attendants fell off sharply.
Hugo, there's only 2 people in the audience.
And I got a confession, Igo. One of them is my mother-in-law.
That's funny.
Why?
The other one is my mother-in-law.
Of course, it wasn't long before the cash box was empty, and still the circus rolled disconsolately from town to town. But strange as it seems, as soon as it left the town, the sun came out and shone brightly.
Bullwinkle, those rain clouds seem to be following us.
Was it something we said?
And that's pretty strange. I think I'll go up and take a look.
You mean?
Yeah, give me a toss up there.
Right, Rock.
Where are you fellas going?
We're out to lunch.
Okay, Bullwinkle, let's go. Holly!
And Bullwinkle flung the plucky squirrel into the air. Up, up, up he went. But just as he reached the clouds, he happened to glance down and...
Hokey smoke, Bullwinkle. I see it all now.
Well, you should. You're high enough.
No, I mean I know what's making it rain on our circus.
But at that moment, the sharp-eyed squirrel zoomed into a cloud bank and...
Come in, Rocky, come in, Rocky.
But not a word more could Bullwinkle hear. And what's more, Rocky didn't emerge from the cloud bank.
Come out, Rocky, come out, Rocky.
Well, things look pretty bad.
Yeah, maybe if I comb my hair a different way.
And even worse, at that very second, million-volt charges of lightning began to flash through the cloud. Don't fail to see our next episode, Loony Lightning, or Nuts and Bolts.
Oh, by George, that's a good one.
What's so funny, Pop?
Oh, it's you, Junior. Well, I'm laughing at a joke, that's all.
Somebody came by and told you a joke, huh?
No, nobody came by. I heard the joke 2 years ago.
And you're still laughing at it?
Well, I just got the punchline, that's it.
Look, I don't want to sound disrespectful, Dad, but aren't you a little slow? I mean, 2 years...
Now, wait a minute, son, wait a minute. You're forgetting one of my most popular proverbs. He who laughs last, laughs best.
I smell a fable coming up.
Which reminds me of a fable.
Now, you see?
Not too far away and not too close either. There was a desert, the driest, most uninhabited piece of real estate you ever saw. Outside of the sand, the only thing that moved was 2 jackrabbits who were prospecting for gold.
Hey, look at that, Charlie. You know what that is? That is high-grade dirt.
Date?
Dirt. But don't you worry, old pal. One of these days we'll strike it rich. Come on, let's get some water.
The only wet spot in the entire desert was a small outdoor restaurant operated by an industrious mule. The only thing the mule sold was water, which he procured from a nearby well.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. And how are we today?
We are hot and dry.
So give us each a pitcher of water.
I would like to comply very much with your wishes, but so far you have drunk 80 pitchers of water and you haven't paid me a cent.
Look, we told you we'd pay you when we hit gold, didn't we? Besides, Charlie has got a present for you.
He has? Oh, well, that's different. Here's your water. Where's my present?
Here.
He fell for it. He fell for it. Hey, that was a good one, Charlie.
And the following day found the jackrabbits back on the job. And just like the day before, they eventually wound up at the mule's restaurant.
No, I regret to say you get no water unless you pay for it.
Look, Mule. Charlie's awful sorry about the cigar joke yesterday. Ain't you, Charlie?
Oh, yeah. Matter of fact, to make up for it, I went into town. I bought you a real good one. Here.
Well, I suppose it would be silly of me to hold a grudge. Very well. You can have your water today. Are you sure this cigar is good?
It's good, all right. Good and powerful.
You did it, Charlie. You did it. You went and fooled them again.
Now, on the following day, a very strange thing happened. Acting on a hunch, the 2 jackrabbits took a sample of dirt into the assayer's office and were told it contained not only gold, but silver, uranium, and even lanolin. And they were rich.
That's right, Mule. Me and Charlie are billionaires.
Here, have a cigar.
No, you don't.
Look. Flam and me are leaving for France. And before we go, we thought we'd try and make up for all the nasty tricks we played on you.
No cigars, please. Just pay me the money you owe.
Mule, you hurt me, honest.
Oh, very well. But I warn you. Say, this is good.
I told you. Well, Flam, let's go.
You know, I'm kind of proud of you, Charlie. For a minute there, I thought you was going to give that mule another exploding cigar.
Oh, fun's fun, Flam, but after all...
Well, sir, no one can have more fun in Paris than 2 jackrabbits, especially if they're rich.
Ah, this is what I call real living. By the way, how long have we been here?
2 years and 11 days.
Ah, this is living all right.
Sure is. Only we better go a little easier on our money.
How much have we got left?
$1.50.
Well, the spree was over, and there was nothing left to do but to return to the desert and dig for more gold.
This is hard work. Let's quit and get some water.
Nice to see you, Mule. By the way, I brought you a present all the way from Paris. Here.
The mule took one look at the cigar and promptly headed for parts unknown. As for the jackrabbits, they decided to get their own water. But can you imagine their surprise at finding the well empty?
Hey, Mule, come back.
Let us out of here.
So the mule had the last laugh after all. And that's why I say, he who laughs last laughs best.
Gee, that's a swell fable, Pop. And a pretty good moral, too.
Yeah, only a pretty good one?
Well, I can think of a better one.
All right, let's have it.
You never miss the waiter till the well runs dry.
You never did? Oh, Junior.
Here to tell us how to better live our lives is Mr. Know-It-All.
Hello, lovers of the good life. Today we are going to learn how to avoid tipping the waiter.
Check is $3.29. 15% tip is customary.
Keep a sharp eye now and you will learn to save a fortune. Waiter, heavens to Betsy Ross. There's a live fly in my dessert. I refuse to tip.
Fly is no longer alive. $3.29. Please expect larger tip additional effort.
Which brings us to the fainting method, operating on the simple premise that when you faint, someone will carry you outside for fresh air. Once outside, you're safe. You just leave the money for the check. Oh, waiter. Oh, I'm feeling lightheaded. Oh! This stuff's too good for a show like this. I'm faint. Shh. Something must have gone wrong.
$3.29 plus flowers comes now to $4.74, expecting much bigger tip.
Then there's the disguise method.
Hey, you moose.
There must be some mistake, waiter. I'm the lady that was sitting by the window. The moose left.
Fine. Lady, your check was $23.68. Tip naturally runs around $5 for even cheapskate.
But I haven't got more than $5 altogether.
Gee, Mr. Know-It-All, you did it. You succeeded in not tipping the waiter.
Yeah, and at $2 a day, I'll have the bill and the tip paid in just a little more than 3 weeks. A month? 6 months? Oh, well, they're closed on Christmas.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
But...
See? Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Wrong hat.
And now it's time to meet Mr. Peabody.
Peabody here. You're just in time to join Sherman and me on another journey into history.
What year shall I set the Wayback Machine for, Mr. Peabody?
1191, Sherman.
And the place?
The Holy Land, where we look in on the Crusades led by that indestructible English monarch, Richard the Lionhearted. The Wayback transported Sherman and me to our destination, but as luck would have it, we arrived in the midst of a battle royal between the Saracens and the English. However, it was a battle of short duration.
Golly, Mr. Peabody, all of a sudden everybody stopped fighting.
I beg your pardon, soldier, but has the enemy surrendered?
Oh, no, it's merely tea time. We always stop for our afternoon tea.
Taking advantage of the brief recess, Sherman and I proceeded to seek out King Richard. It wasn't until we came across a regal tent at the rear of the lines that we heard...
You dared to attack the King of England, do you? Well, take that. And that!
Sounds like King Richard's in trouble.
We entered, but saw no signs of the enemy.
Arm yourselves if you value your lives.
But who are you fighting?
Him.
Good heavens, a mouse.
Yes. I was halfway through my Roquefort when the monster attacked.
Couldn't you scare him off?
Me scare him?
Surely your majesty is not afraid of mice.
Mice, fish, canaries, people, buildings, trees, you name it, I'm afraid of it.
But why do they call you lion-hearted?
A misnomer. Actually, I'm chicken-hearted.
I would imagine that the war is going badly.
Oh, yes. So far, I've lost 2 wedges of Roquefort, a slice of Limburger.
Not your war, Your Highness. The war outside.
Oh, that one. Yes, I wonder how it's going.
We soon found out.
Bad news, Your Grace!
Out with it, man. Are we retreating?
Worse than that, we've run out of tea.
That is bad news.
The situation called for an urgent meeting between Richard and his chiefs of staff.
I say we should call the whole thing off. We're running low on crumpets.
Gentlemen, I have a plan that would end the war in 1 hour.
Wizard. Absolutely wizard. What is your plan?
Who leads the Saracens?
Saladin.
Then you meet Saladin on the field of battle. Whoever wins, wins the war. How does that strike you?
Unconscious.
We adjourned to a practice area where I drilled Richard in the art of medieval warfare. This is a crossbow, sire. You merely pull the trigger and release the arrow in the direction of your opponent.
You mean like this?
Yes, like that. Of course, your aim was bad.
I see what you mean.
Next, I instructed him in the handling of a mace.
You mean you want me to smash that dummy with this?
Exactly. Pretend it's Saladin.
Oh, I can't do it. I'm much too much of a coward.
You must force yourself, sire. Now swing, swing hard. And swing he did, launching a most prodigious blow.
Couldn't I challenge Saladin to a game of parcheesi or something?
No, you have to fight him. I guess you'll have to use this magic sword.
Magic sword, Mr. Peabody?
Yes. Don't you remember, Sherman? This piece of steel was fashioned by a dervish in Damascus. Whosoever wieldeth it possesses the courage of 20 lions.
You mean if I fight Saladin with his sword, I can't lose?
Precisely.
Psst. Is it really a magic sword?
Of course not, Sherman, but it may give him confidence. And so King Richard faced the fierce Saladin, and although Saladin was a master swordsman, when the smoke cleared...
Yay! Long live the king!
Later, inside Richard's tent, I disclosed the truth about the so-called magic sword.
I don't believe it.
It's true, Your Grace. Look at the inscription. Made in Japan, not Damascus.
Oh, that's wonderful.
You mean your victory over Saladin?
Oh, no. The fact that I can now look a goldfish in the eye without flinching.
Thus, from that day forward, Richard lived up to the name Lion-Hearted. In fact, he never took a walk without at least 2 lions on a leash. Yes, Richard was lion-hearted, all right. But of course, he was no fool.
Well, in our last episode, the Bumbling Brothers Circus had fallen on hard times. It had rained steadily for weeks and weeks. Rocky, in an attempt to see what was causing the freakish weather, zoomed upward into the clouds.
I can see it all now, Bullwinkle. It's...
But at that moment, he disappeared into a cloud bank, and an instant later...
Jumpin' G-horse that! He'll be matriculated!
Stunned by the massive dose of electricity, the plucky squirrel was dropping limply through space, a pitiful little furry bundle. Then, just when it seemed that all was lost...
Holy smoke! I landed in the back seat of a plane.
Yes, a mysterious black airplane had inadvertently saved our hero from a grisly fate.
Hey, thanks a lot, Mr. Pilot. Mr. Hokey Smoke, there's nobody there.
It was true. The front cockpit empty, the black plane flew on pilotless.
And what's more, there's no control.
That was true, too. So it was with a great deal of relief that Rocky saw that the plane was headed for a safe landing on a high mesa. No sooner had the wheels stopped rolling than Rocky leaped from the cockpit.
I gotta get back to the circus with a nose. I got...
You got caught. That's what you got.
And Rocky stared upward into the stony features of a huge, scowling Indian. Meanwhile, back at the big top...
Cheer up, Bullwinkle.
The show must go on.
Must go on what?
I don't know, it's just something.
We always say at times like this.
And the show did go on. That night, Bullwinkle's animal act was a tribute to his little friend. All the lions and tigers stood at attention and saluted, while Bullwinkle hummed taps. Then they mournfully spelled out Rocky with white begonias, almost. Meanwhile, in the town square outside, the Bumbling brothers were unveiling a statue of Rocky made out of genuine... Hey, wait, that's not Rocky.
We know. It's really a Thaddeus J. Schlump.
We added the goggles and tail ourselves.
But why?
We got a special low price.
The statue was already in the park.
The mayor sold it to us.
And he threw in this brass cannon, too.
Now, hold on. The mayor sold you a statue and a brass cannon?
Certainly, it was such a bargain.
We couldn't pass it up.
And here he is now.
Allow me to introduce myself. Mayor Avarice J. Ward here.
Are you kidding? We already met the mayor this afternoon, and you aren't him.
Well, you're mad the day, Mayor, that's why.
And you're...
the night mayor.
I should have known.
And further, if you'll notice the color from my beard,
You're
I'm also
the old gray mayor.
You know, Hugo, I think Bullwinkle's right.
That's impossible.
I think this fella's a crook.
That's possible.
What fella?
Sure enough, at the first hint of danger, Boris had skedaddled.
After him!
And our friend started off after the false mayor, leaving the park to a pair of seedy old-timers.
That certainly don't look like the Thaddeus Schlump I knew, Chauncey.
You mean the tail, Edgar?
The tail I knew about. I just never saw him wear glasses.
And meanwhile, what of Rocky himself? Well, he's tied to a stake in the middle of a mesa, awaiting heaven knows what.
Yeah, what are we waiting for?
We wait for Big Chief.
It's pretty cold out here, you know.
No worry. We build fire for you.
And our hero's captor set fire to a pile of branches on which he was standing.
Hey, you can't do that.
Who say?
The network say, quote, no cannibalism on TV, unquote.
We no eat you, just roast you.
Oh, well, I guess that's okay then.
And the network-approved flames licked higher and higher. Don't miss our next episode, The Fire Chaser, or Bullwinkle Goes to Blazes.
Well, it looks as if our time has just about run out.
Mine must be a little slow.
You got the credits, Bullwinkle?
All on this itty-bitty card. Oop!
We're late again, Bullwinkle.
Right.
Bye now. See you next time.